Well, hello. My name is Gan. Welcome back to Lucid9. Last time, we told Rory about Misaki and hey, we shall be friends again. And it's I'll never be friends with her after what she did to you. Then we went to a job fair and we saw some job opportunities, but most of them were shit. Except the science research. Then, and right now we're gonna talk to Mr. Ryoto to talk about the whole Rui and Misaki thing. So, let us continue. This time, he opened the door as soon as I knocked. I must have caught him at a good time. Welcome, Ishimoto. We've been expecting you. He crackles manically and taps his fingertips together. You should have turned in your chair while stroking a cat. Bah, everyone's a critic. Would you rather have been left standing outside in the cold? Outside? I'd be in the hallway. You seem awfully eager to prove your mentor wrong, boy. Well, whether I prove it or not, it's still wrong, right? Ah, yes. But that would never fly in a court of law, you see. Imagine it. I declared the defendant guilty because, from a metaphysical standpoint, it is true. Even if we have no exponent... Fuck, I can't read that. Okay, if anyone could read that, I was gonna say give you $1, but I don't got shit. I don't got cash on me. Epistemologic link of knowing so. I just lost you. I get that a lot. Go ahead and take a seat. We've got more important things to discuss, no? Hesitantly, I slide into the nearest couch. I've always seen Mr. Ryoto as an intelligent man, even if laid back, but I never actually, not understood him. I wonder how much brain mass he's been hiding behind that cheerful facade. So, the transfer student, Misaki Kazihara. I hope you don't mind. I did a little lookup on her. You can do that? Well, there's no explicit rule saying I can't use the confidential database. I'm pretty sure there is. Nope. I may be faculty, but I'm not a teacher. It's only stated that teachers have to request special permission. I checked the loopholes. Something feels wrong about this. What did you find out? Well, if I tell you, then it's a breach. Fuck. It's a breach of confidentiality. I'm not even gonna read it in that voice, cause I don't want to go to jail yet. The food's too good here. Mr. Ryota, I really worry about you sometimes. And this is me talking. So instead, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter, Yama. How did you two meet? And you mentioned that she left. Yeah. Ooh, backstory. I closed my eyes, letting the ever-constant hum of the air conditioning calm my nerves. Then, I start talking. It's practically subconscious. My mouth dutifully repeats the train of thought running through my mind. Everything is calm, clear, slow. Therapy. Something that I've never gotten used to over the years. So, I easily turn my brain to the topic of interest. Misaki Kazihara. I'd met her when I was young. Not too young. A baby still forming through patterns and ideas about the world, but young enough to be highly impressionable. It's been on a day when I thought nothing could make me smile. Not the vibrant lanterns sewn between the roofs of multicolored booths. Not the festival rhythm of the Takiko drummers urging on the parade of light-bearing dancers. Not the stands in which a variety of nutritional questionable foods were being served. Not even Rui. Rui, who dragged me out of the house despite my best efforts to stay miserable. It was only around an hour into the festival, but I was ready to go. When Ruri went to the bathroom, I seriously considered ditching her and going back to my room. Apparently, I was scowling deeply at that. I didn't know it until a passing girl suddenly stopped in front of me. Does your face always look like that? To say the least, that didn't help my foul mood. I glared up at her. She was pretty. Well, that was the first thought in my head. That instinctive spark of appreciation, whether a guy sees a pretty girl, no matter how much he wants to feel otherwise. Her hair was braided back into an elegant half-updo, light ebony curls flaming her porcelain face, big eyes, long lashes, pointed chin. The kind of traditional beauty you might see in the kimono commercials. Of course, the first spark of interest was immediately overridden by indignance that only an 8-year-old boy could feel. What are you looking at? Do you always look so grumpy? You should be celebrating. He didn't know anything, of course, not until a few months later. Festivals are stupid. They are not. Why? There isn't even a reason to celebrate. The girl's face twists into something resembling anger. It looked strange on her face, like a guinea pig attempting to seem menacing. You don't even know what the festival is about, do you? Well, of course I didn't, but I wasn't about to admit that. Of course I do. I can't do it. I'm trying to do a kid's voice. Of course I do. Oh yeah? What is it about? Well, you make lanterns. Uh-huh. And? I fist my hands at her condescending tone. You write stuff on them. You write wishes on them and stuff. Wrong. Am not. Yeah, you are. You don't write wishes. You write what you want to tell dead people. Ridiculous, I should have said. Why would I even want to talk to dead people? But I didn't mock it. I couldn't mock it. Dead people? Yep. I can write a message to Auntie on this lantern and she'd see it. How do you know that? Haven't you heard the story? No, I hadn't. But my 8-year-old pride prevented me from saying that, of course. Thankfully, the girl took my silence as confusion. Well, once upon a time, there was a princess. Was she pretty? Yeah. Good at singing? Yeah. Boring. It's not boring. The indignant anger on her face made me snicker, the first time I had smiled all day. Yeah, well, what happened? Does she get in trouble and a charming prince has to save her? Just listen. Look, she's actually a big meanie. A mean princess? That wasn't a fairy tale staple. Oh. Yep, but her bodyguard was in love with her and turned her good again. I felt disappointed. The story had a promising start. Bleh. What did he do? Cast a spell? Give a true love's kiss? He died. Oh. Don't look so happy. That time, I broke into a tiny laugh. But it made her good again, right? Well, yeah. She didn't trust anyone before. Thought they were all fake and stuff. It seemed that she was glaring at me at this point of the story, but before I can open my mouth, he was already continuing. Anyway, the bodyguard sacrificed himself to save her life, so the heavens were super duper impressed and put him in the stars. Aren't stars really, really hot? That sounds like a bad thing. Childish ignorance flickers across her face. made him into a constellation, you poop. Blah! Blah times affinity. Blah times affinity and plus. Anyway, the princess realized how beautiful love really is. Because he died? She saw how much he loved her, so she decided to be the best person and trust people again. This has nothing to do with writing messages to the dead on lanterns. I was rapidly losing interest. Let me guess, she lived happily ever after. Well, no, the bodyguard died, remember? I like this Fuck, I can't do a child's voice. I like this bodyguard. She glares at me, but somehow it feels less severe than before. She wrote her promise on a lantern and sent it up to the sky so he can see it, 'cause it was a constellation, remember? Now I realize that I could have said a lot of things. That's stupid. He's dead. What could he do about it? But that wasn't on my mind at the time. Everyone turns to a bunch of stars when they die? I think... You think or you know? If they did something to super duper impress the heavens, I guess. I smiled at that. My eyes scoured the streets and landed on a simple booth. A handful of kids were gathered around a short portable table, scrawling on lanterns with calligraphic pens clamped in fisted hands. Let's go! But I already made a lantern. Write to another dead person then. With this overwhelming display of political correctness, I raced towards the table, snatched a lantern from a smiling adult, and plopped down with my pen at the hand ready. Fuck. Who are you writing to? None of your beeswax. I can't do like a child boy. Even a child girl, I gotta be like, my typical girl voice. I begin to scrawl characters on my lantern. The girl hovers over my shoulder, squinting, judges judiciously at my jaggering brushstrokes. Why is your handwriting so messy? It's not messy. I can't even read it. I whipped around, narrowing my eyes, accusingly at her own lantern. Well, yours. I searched for a fault, but not only was her lantern graced with perfect calligraphy. Calligraphy. Son of a bitch. Calligraphy. It also proudly bore a few elegant cherry blossoms. Well, yours looks girlish. She raises a single eyebrow. It was a remarkably sophisticated expression for a 9-year-old girl to make. I am a girl. And there was not much to say after that. Yama, where have you been? It was as if Rui had materialized out of thin air. I hadn't even noticed the rapid pitter-patter of her footsteps. Sorry, Rui. Jeez, could have told me. You were in the bathroom. Clearly displeased, Rui turned her back on me, but smiles at the other girl. Thank you for taking care of him. Surprisingly, the girl smiles back, easy as you please. Well, weren't they getting along just fine? Why did they have to give me such a hard time? Maybe it was a girl thing. I'm Rui. I'm Misaki. You gotta make a lantern. Yep. How do you make those flowers? They're real pretty. I can show you. And just like that, the two of them were friends. It took a little longer to warm up, but whenever the two of them set their minds to, they accomplished. They had always been that way. So fierce, so capable, so lovely. They're playful angels who, for some reason unfathomable to mankind, saw fit to hang around a bucket of a depressing slug like me. Why do you think that about yourself? Was this guy talking the whole time? Mr. Rito's voice seems to come from afar in the distance, faint but recognizable. I respond distractedly. You know me, I'm not useful, or popular, or particularly intelligent. Silence follows this statement, so I'll continue. Our families were close. Misaki's father would always throw these get-togethers at their house over the weekends or during special occasions. I remember him being really overbearing at first. He was a lot like Misaki, only bigger and louder. I really saw Misaki's mother. The times I did see her, she was pretty distant. Besides that, I really don't remember much about her. At first, we were inseparable, Misaki and us, but then her father had lost his job, and we started seeing less of her. And eventually, they just left. No warning whatsoever. Even our parents tried to get in contact. No luck. It had been as if the Kaziharas had disappeared off the face of the planet. That must have been really a hard blow. Rui said that it had been. Honestly, I don't remember much of what followed. It all passed in a haze. Eventually, I felt abandoned. I had this idea that everyone close to me would leave me. I don't think I could even cry, only feel empty inside. But Rui says that it really was a terrible time. She says that I didn't eat, didn't sleep, didn't even play any games with her. She says that I looked like a ghost, heck, practically became one. And I don't remember it, but she says that one day... What the fuck was that? Ooh, what the fuck was that? Like, you saw that? It just flies, what the fuck? Yama, what's wrong? Nope, sorry, that's it. Sob story over. Are you sure? You do realize that the entire point of therapy is to share your sob stories. It's not a burden, Yama. I'm glad to hear you out. I feel tired. I think I have to stop here. It's mainly an excuse, and a very effective one for therapists. Mr. Ryota immediately nods in understanding. Thanks for confiding in me. Just know that you felt was completely valid. I'm sorry you had that trauma. I'm fine. I got over it. I'd like to go now, if that's okay. If you're sure. Is there anything I can do for you? I'm okay. Sure, you don't want a lollipop? Yeah, I'm pretty sure, but thanks. Have a good day, Yama. But at least take this prescription. Prescription? Seriously? Then I actually looked at it. One bucket of ice cream to be eaten guilt-free. Oh. As far as the administration knows, this is totally a legitimate treatment. Ice cream is one of the core groups in the food pyramid, you know. He actually pulled a genuine laugh out of me. Thanks, Mr. Ryota, and thanks for listening. Anytime. I exit Mr. Ryoto's office in a considerably better mood than when I entered. I don't feel tired. I feel rejuvenated. It seems like those memories have been weighing on me for a long time. Maybe therapy really will be beneficial. Deciding to take his prescription to heart, I head straight to downtown shopping area. With my mind cleared, I pay a little more attention to the weather. Beautiful cloudless skies. The slightest hint of a cool breeze. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. Whoever it is, I'm just gonna do their voice. You. Okay, now girly girl, that's gonna be your voice. You. A girl careens from around the corner and nearly crashes right into me. Her glasses flash dangerously at the tip of her newsboy cap over her forehead, studying me with an intensely that could rival an electronic microscope. Me? It's all I can manage to say at the eccentric site. Yes, you. An idyllic, unlettered civilian. Perfect. A hint of a satisfied smile tugs at her lips. For what must be the 100th time today, I feel a keen sense of impending doom. Respond to my question with either yes or no. Do not deviate, do not invent, and, for the sake of both of our sanities, do not dawdle. First, am I correct in assuming you are an academy student? You must have the wrong person. I've never seen you before. How can you judge the purpose behind this encounter without knowing the fuck. I have said in my approach. I don't know what the fuck that word says. I could try. Certuria. Criteria. You know what? I'm gonna look back in like when I'm editing, and I'm just gonna see that word again and just come like, oh, that's the word. It happens every time. Every single time I edit a video, man. What's her voice again? I gave her like a deep voice. I'm not mistaken. You are my target. It doesn't take a genius to sense that this girl means trouble. I decide to conveniently ignore her and step around her. She only steps with me, blocking my path. Again. Oh great. I can sense where this is going. As I envisioned, subject demonstrates a remarkable inability to utilize basic cognitive functions. Talk about uncalled for, abusive words, overly complicated language. She clearly has a few screw looses. Maybe I should call the hospital, see if they have a runaway mental patient. But she's not wearing hospital clothes. Look, kid, I don't know what your problem is, but... Kid? Don't you hear from my deep voice that I smoke cigarettes? I'm 25. The pleasantly cool air suddenly develops a rather hard chill. It must be one of those phases. Just another 14-year-old expecting to be treated with the dignity of a grandmother. I'll bet a 14-year-old who apparently memorized the dictionary. The dictionary? Well, whatever you are, generally speaking, it's pretty rude to just run up to a random stranger and insult them. Surely, your idiocy has arisen to a level beyond which I have previously summarized. Fuck. She immediately digs in her pocket and flashed something in front of my face. Shigori Inomoto, freelance detective. Legally certified to investigate crime scenes, obtain private files, and, if necessary, interrogate unduly inquisitive citizens with an observational finesse of a blind bat. I'm gonna hate you very much. You're making me really like tough words right now, lady. And you shall note that I am 26 years of age. I was close, I said 25. Wait, what? Why do you think I speaking like a... No, I should give like an old school like crime detective, right? Like, fuck, old school crime detective, or gangster, like, huh, you see? Huh, you see? You're 26? Unless you presume... Fuck. Haha, see? I can't do it. I used to do, like, I could do, like, those mobster voices. I just can't do them no more. Unless you presume to imply that you are deaf as well as dumb, I suggest... But you're so short. I practically feel ice crystals forming in the air. Well, I should strongly prefer to be short of stature than short of cerebral matter, as seems to be your tendency. Ouch, not a bad blow. But wait, if you're a freelance detective, does that mean that this is an interrogation? And am I a suspect? If I have to go to the police station, do I get excused absences from class? I see no need to reserve your expectation that you will be taking the unexcused absences as they are. Consider it's an inevitability similar to your clinical depression. That stops me. What? How could she possibly? What would even make her think something like that? You might as well carry a sign. From your uniform, you are a student at the academy. From the fact that you are wearing it, you attend school this morning. From your presence in town, rather than your class, you are, as I believe they call it, plain hooky. From that prescription slip, you are enrolled in the recently developed therapy method at the academies has been boasting. From your fairly normal physique and social skills, you probably is most likely clinically depressed or something like high-functioning autism. I might have that one, the last one. I don't know, man. Don't go to the doctor. I might have that one. Or I might be like dumb or something. From. Okay, I get it. Okay, I get it. You're a detective. And you're impressed, but pretending not to be. It is pretty impressive. The observation themselves might seem like common sense, but a person who can actually synthesize them is a rare find. Which, of course, kinda makes her more annoying. I relax a little, oddly relieved that she hadn't actually secretly researched me. Now, it is your turn. My turn? Of course. What can you see from my physical presentation? I invite you to give your brain some much needed exercise. That gets close to firing me up. Close. Sorry, but I have my therapist's instructions to follow. Unless you have actual business with me, I appreciate it if you left me alone. I step around her. This time, she doesn't move. But just as I think I'm home free, I hear a soft whispering drifting from behind me. Did you not wish to play a bigger role in society, that a inconstitutional pawn in this game of life? Or will you restrict yourself to the confines of your own abilities just because of her? I quietly stop. I turn around slowly. Tell me how you know that, right now. I shall, after you prove yourself mentally capable of comprehending the simplest of my explanations. Fine. She wants me to play it that way? She wants to play it that way? Let her play it that way. Time to focus. I'll start with... her body language. Duh. She spreads her weight evenly on both feet, unlike most girls, who let it lie more on one side of their hip than the other. Even weight on both feet almost sounds like a... fighting stance? Formal posture? Fighting stance, like... right? Because they're both feet on the ground, like, she's ready for anything, right? If it's formal, you're not putting pressure on your feet, you're just like, whatever. Fighting stance. She seems relaxed, but with that bright-eyed look of someone expecting danger around every corner. The kind of weight distribution doesn't seem to come naturally. Maybe she was in sports, or maybe in self-defense at one point. For a while, from that looks of it. I like to guess martial arts, but I can't say for sure. There are too many possibilities. Okay, then maybe I should think about this in a different way. Her movements are very crisp and close to the body. When she's speaking, she doesn't gesture very much, even when yelling. Generally speaking, sports emphasize emoting a huge scale, roaring in victory, bowing in defeat, the works. Not only that, but limbs are trained more for gross motor skills than fine motor skills. On the contrary, Shigori has a very tight control over her hands, almost to the point where she seems stiff, which likely points to something more high control, like ballerina or archery, or more subtle martial arts like Wing Chun. Well, that still doesn't narrow things down too much. Time to move on. I noticed that when Shigari moves, she probably tends to use her I wasn't paying attention. Her left hand? Or her right hand? Well, she has her right hand on her hips, but her left hand is like right hand. Cause that's her right hand right there, right? Right hand. Left hand. Her left hand is always hovering by her hip. Really? That's not her left hand. That's her right hand. Her left hand is always hovering by her hip, whether it's like her holster would be. Maybe, or it could be coincidental. She doesn't primarily use her left hand for gesturing. At least, I think I'm on the wrong track. Right hand. Her right hand is generally stagnant, while her right often takes the most action, adjusting her glasses or tapping her hip against her hip. Probably safe to assume that she's right-handed. So, she used to be involved in a high-control form of physical exercise, and she's right-handed. Is that really all I can get from her body language? Well, she doesn't wear any noticeable makeup. She dresses like a kid, and she wears glasses instead of contacts, just calling more attention to her pathetic stature. Wait a minute. When I put it that way, it almost sounds like she has a mental disability? She wants to be underestimated. She has a mental disability. She's dumb. Even though she pretends to be indignant about being mistaken for a kid, it looks like that's her intent. Even though she's a freelance detective, she doesn't wear her badge anywhere, or carry a gun, or anything really. She probably believes that being underestimated is a valuable skill. I can't say I personally agree, but hey, she's the 26-year-old freelance detective, not me. Her clothes. That's the second thing, her clothes. Unlike the standard professional wear I might expect of law enforcement agents, she dresses comfortably. Probably can do that because she's a freelance detective. They also haven't been ironed in a while, which means either she doesn't care or she's a workaholic. Maybe a combination of both. Her shirt proclaims king. Conscious or unconscious association to her egoism. I can't tell much, but I find it strange that she dressed so casually and expects people to take her seriously. With her height and her clothes, is it any wonder that she's often mistaken for a kid? And one thing bothers me. She wears comfortable looking clothes, which I previously assumed were for efficiency. After all, chasing down criminals in high heels is a stupid idea. And yet, something stands out. Hat and jeans? Glasses and hoodie? Fuck. Which one would be the first one though? I'm like thinking right now. Okay. Glasses and hoodie. What does that say? If she falls, like that glass will get in her eyes. The hoodie, like someone could just pull it and hold on to her. The hat and jeans. The hat could always fall, and jeans are not okay to run in sometimes. Like if they're tight jeans, like skinny jeans, do you really want to be running with that? Fuck, they're all good answers. I'm gonna go with hat and jeans. Hopefully that's not the wrong one. Right, hats are a pain to run with, because unless you keep one hand on them at all times, they're likely to flop around, fall off, or just generally be obnoxious. And jeans are too tight to opt for flexibility. Running in those would either be very uncomfortable or very, very embarrassing, which implies that she's just dressed how she wants to. Definitely a very headstrong individual. If she doesn't choose casual clothes for comfort, knowing that it can interfere with her job, then is she purposely choosing it to aggravate others? To announce her individualism? It would match with her choosing to be a freelance detective instead of a corporate investigator. Free-spirited, rebellious, and as I suspect from how she shamelessly pulls me aside for no reason, guided more by her heart than her head, despite her intellect. Not bad. Next, I should think about the circumstances. Why here? Why now? Why me? These are all questions I need to address. A detective approached me and bombarded me with questions, but I see no other policemen. Is she doing this just because she's bored? No, she was specifically looking for an academy student, for some reason. I'm coming short in this area. I have to think about this later. I take a step back to look at the bigger picture, the full picture. No, this isn't it. Not quite. It's good information, but it's basic. Nothing stands out. I can't actually use any of this. Time to think a little deeper. I was gonna say creeper, but it's deeper. Is there anything that can help me? Anything at all? Something I've missed? Okay, deep voice, forgot. Inamoto speaking. Yes. If you cannot resolve such an appealing simple task by your own means, I shall consider your intelligence no different than a headless chicken's. Good day. Now, you may want to hasten your efforts before the ground upon which we stand becomes our gravestones. Yeah, I'm on it. I say this distractedly primarily, but I notice he has a flip phone. Ancient technology by today's standard. Buttons, 2-inch screens, primitive camera, the works. Not just that, but it's a terrible looking flip phone. The kind of decor that you see on a pre-license phone, a fucking child's phone. Rhinestones, heart stickers, even the random scowls from a Sharpie that was too faded in the metal for me to read. It's completely unlike her, which means that it's a wealth of information. While on call, she so gracefully turns the phone in my direction, allowing me to catch a glance of her wallpaper. Shocked, it was a picture, at least a few years old, of a guy hugging her. Double shock, she was probably showing off a ring. Not a cheap, cutesy, colory ring, like the couple bands of a new relationship in its second week. A legitimate diamond ring. An engagement ring. But she's not wearing the ring anymore. Even looking at her hand at this moment, I can't even tell that she's ever worn one. Which means that she had once had a fiance and he broke up with her. And he did it recently ago, a long time ago. Well, if it was recently, fuck. It was recently, you'd probably see like markings on her finger, right? Because if she worn it for a while. But then again, why would she have a picture of him? Fuck. But in the picture, she did have a ring, and it was a few years ago, so it's gotta be a long time ago. Of course! It's the engagement that has ended recently. If the engagement had ended recently, I'd see a tan around her figure, or maybe an indent. Instead, there's none. Which means that the fiancé called off the engagement a while ago. She obviously didn't call it off, not if she's keeping that picture on her phone. In fact, maybe they broke it off amicably if she hadn't deleted it yet. Either that or she's a stalker. Alright, that much more like it. I think I'm ready. I square my shoulders and look her in the eye. Sorry about the wedding. ... Hello? What wedding? Is she serious? How can I possibly word this delicately? Yours. The one that your fiancé called off a few years ago. Did he? Didn't he? Unless he does have a wedding ring and just doesn't wear it. Is it in your pocket or something? You might seek the articles yourself better. Is what in my pocket? Your wedding ring. Why would I have a wedding ring in my pocket? If your fiancé didn't call off the wedding, then... Wait. No. There's one more possibility, and since she's in law enforcement, it wouldn't be unlikely. I immediately shut up as the realization dawns on me. I see you have realized. Yes, he never called off the wedding. Because he died. I suddenly feel very, very callous. I'm sorry. Silence. Say nothing that you do not mean. Unless you are manipulating others to extract information, as that is an occupational hazard. Right. Even as he continues on, I mentally hit myself for my error. I shall admit, civilian, that you have done adequately. Train your senses consistently, and you might become more modernly useful in the future. Thanks. Really, I'm overwhelmed. But, I ask of you this. What is the meaning when a freelance detective approaches a student and asks a string of seriously unrelated questions of him? She is testing him. I'm not a suspect of anything. He does not have a crush on me because it was the first time we met, unless he met me before. She is testing him. You're testing my intelligence for some reason. Or you're actually a marketing intern trying to conduct some bizarre survey. I wouldn't know. She fixes me with an unfathomable stare. The only sign of emotion on her face are her eyebrows, which are almost raised to her hairline. What is your name? Sorry? Your name. This has nothing to do with the case, but if I protest, she'd probably smack me with more verbal abuse. Fuck, man. Every time I just read the last one, and the last one is always retarded, always stupid in my mind. Like, I say verbal, and I'm like, assault, or verbal something else. Yama Ishimoto. What is she thinking of? Her derision is preferable to her silence. I postulate that you possess a nimble of free time. What is your assignment regarding a conjunction mature? Conjunction mature? Who even uses those kinds of words? I don't know, because I don't know what the fuck the last word says. Are you asking me to be your assistant? Servant, not assistant. Putting me and a job in the same sentence is never a good idea. I barely have enough diligence to hand out stuff in class when I'm called by a teacher. How much worse would my punishment be if I worked with a girl, woman, this crazy? Not detention, I assume. And yet, examining pieces of a puzzle, putting them together, framing the whole story, it was fun. Logic, ingenuity, resourcefulness, and almost nothing is fun to me, which makes it doubly interesting. Sure, why not? Good. I'll require your contact information, then be off. I take a moment to process this. That's it? Wait. How did you know? Know what? You told me earlier about her. A tense moment sticks as Shigari stares evenly at me. Pure conjecture. You can't be serious. You did not appear to notice that my wording was intentionally vague? What? But you said... Do you not wish to play a bigger role in society than an inconsensual pawn in this game of life? Or will you restrict yourself to the confines of your own abilities just because of her? Oh, class's bait for confirmation bias appeals to a person's general desire for significance, alludes to just one person for added reasonableness. All she would have to guess its gender, 50-50 chance striking a chord in her victim. She probably guessed a girl from my personality. Is not exactly the type to easily befriend guys. I'm not exactly the type to easily befriend guys. A bait. Just a bait. I see you understand. He pushes the phone into my motionless hand. I have registered my cellular number. Tomorrow, you will receive a text regarding your next assignment. Keep your evenings free. With that, she simply tips her hat, whirling around and strides off. A bait. Was it really just a bait? Or is that also a bait? A lie to make me feel better, even though she actually knows. Too many mind games. Clearly I'm not cut out for this. Wait, what did I just accept? Was she serious? Am I actually her errand boy? What did I just get myself into? Alright, I'm gonna end it there because I feel like this is gonna be Rui and there's gonna be like another 20 minutes in this video. But I wasted time because I can't speak for shit or read for shit. Sorry about that. Hopefully tomorrow I'm better, Because right now I'm like, my mind's just going crazy because I am tired and I was just playing CK3 the whole time, Crusader Kings 3. I played that for hours, not recording or anything. I just love to play that game by myself. I was playing at 4 till 12 a.m. today. From 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. 8 hours playing CK3. Yeah, my mind is not good right now. My mind is somewhere else, just thinking about the kingdom and everything. Alrighty, man. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification to see whenever I post, and leave a comment. You see, my mind is going crazy right now. Anyway, this is farewell, and as always, bye-bye.